Hello and welcome to episode 12 of my retrospective look at TT Games LEGO games of the past. If this is the first time watching a video from the series, then don't forget to subscribe, and please do visit our YouTube channel or lifeinbrick.com for the full series and all the other videos we do. Now, as I said in the last episode, 2014 was definitely one of TT and Warner Interactive's busiest years. Following the huge success of the LEGO Movie, a video game followed. That of course wasn't LEGO done for the year gaming wise though, and just a few months later LEGO The Hobbit was released. All of this more than enough to fulfill any LEGO fans' yearly appetite. But wait, there was more! In October of that year, an old friend returned, a staple of LEGO franchise themes, the very man that helped save the company from extinction so many years before. And he brought a few friends with him. LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham saw the return of the Brick Knight in all his glory, and he and his fellow Justice League members took the adventure out of Gotham and into the wider DC universe. After two very grounded stories centred in Gotham City, Batman's third outing went all out, going intergalactic in the process. Really, in my opinion, however, this isn't really a LEGO Batman game at all. Back when I reviewed LEGO Batman 2, I said that that was my favourite LEGO Batman game, and that's because deep down inside this is a LEGO Justice League game, and a brilliant one at that. So, story-wise, with his sights set on adding Earth to his miniaturised collection, Brainiac kidnaps lanterns of every colour, intending on using their rings' near limitless power to shrink our seemingly defenceless planet down to size. Now, of course, our planet is far from defenceless, and from their space station watchtower, the Justice League launch an offensive against Brainiac. Unfortunately, they're too late to stop the evil AI from beginning his plan, and with the Earth already shrinking, Batman and co must travel the universe collecting power lanterns to reverse Brainiac's attack. Sounds like a pretty awesome comic book story, really, doesn't it? An epic bad guy, a devious plan, every superhero DC has to offer, and multiple planets to explore. And it's executed brilliantly. Much like its predecessor, TT Games have created an original story with an interesting and engaging narrative which never stops. Now, it's split across 15 story levels. The environments start off quite bland, very dark and gloomy, very generic Batman. Nothing overly exciting, but as the story grows in interest, so does the variety of playable areas, from shrunken European cities to the watchtower itself to colourful lands of the different lanterns. What starts off as standard Batman quickly thrives as the stunningly diverse DC universe comes into its full glory. Now, following a similar layout to the LEGO Movie video game, the open world very much breaks with what the standards were set for LEGO Batman 2 and LEGO Marvel Superheroes. There's no singular city to explore here. Instead, we're treated to multiple worlds to explore through a network of teleportation points. The Hall of Justice, the Batcave, Watchtower, the Moon, and all the Lantern worlds all feature as open world environments packed to the brim with the usual races, collectibles, puzzles, and even side missions. But what about the actual gameplay? Well, if you've played any of the games that came before, any from around the same sort of era, as well as playing LEGO Batman 2, then there's going to be no surprises whatsoever. Not a great deal of unique innovation has gone into this game. And to be completely fair, it wasn't needed. LEGO Batman 2 did the majority of the hard work defining LEGO Batman in the video game world, even introducing the wider Justice League towards the end of the story. Batman 3 simply took the next logical step, even in a weird kind of way, setting up nicely to jump to the DC supervillains, which is coming out later this year. Now, what I mean by that is that during this story, you actually see some of the personalities of several prominent villains changed by the Lanterns. So Lex Luthor, the Joker, and Solomon Grundy actually play quite important roles as the game progresses, with the former two actually given their own array of power suits similar to Batman and Robin. Now, the power suit mechanic has been a stable part of the franchise since the beginning. Through minor modifications over each game, it's actually seen its peak at almost perfection in LEGO Batman 3. Open to more characters and allowing a much more seamless transition between them, as puzzles automatically change you into the correct suit when you need it at the push of a button. The whole system benefits the flow of gameplay brilliantly. There are, of course, new specific powers associated with a wide range of heroes and villains, and while the majority of the abilities on offer actually come from both the Marvel and DC games that came before, there are a couple of notable exceptions. The big one being Solomon Grundy, who at certain points in the game has the ability to drop below the ground and pull out the most convenient object for the current puzzle that you're working on to solve. Another addition on the previous LEGO Batman is Adam West in peril. Now, much like the Marvel version involving Stan Lee, Adam West appears on each level and in the open world in ridiculously dangerous and odd scenarios from which you have to save him. One of the most amusing of these actually comes right at the beginning of the level, where he's on an island being circled by a shark, and if you're familiar with Adam West's Batman, you can imagine where the repellent jokes are going with that one. Voiced by the TV legend himself, it's a little bit bittersweet replaying the game now, as the actor has since passed away. Now, character-wise, and there's loads to collect in-game, pulling in talent from across the DC universe, from Justice League frontrunners to bizarre off-the-cuff characters like Plastic Man. Anyone who's anyone makes an appearance at some point in this game. One of the more bizarre and frankly awesome additions is Kevin Smith. The legendary director and self-confessed comic book supergeek makes an appearance, joined by an equally bizarre Conan O'Brien as an NCP who appears in the open world. I have no idea why or what that's about, but it's random, but it's fun. Soundtrack wise, and as you would expect, it's epic beyond comparison. The iconic Batman theme is blaring out regularly, as well as multiple variations of the Superman theme and plenty of beautiful scores to accompany them. Similarly, the voiceover work is impeccable, superb, and wouldn't be out of place in one of the many high quality animated movies that DC do so well these days. This is, of course, helped by the return of Trey Baker, Clancy Brown, Nolan North, and many more of the brilliant cast from LEGO Batman 2. Oh, did I mention that Stephen Amell actually voices Green Arrow as well, which is awesome, especially if you're an Arrow fan. There is also an Arrow DLC, but he actually does it as Green Arrow in the game anyway. Seriously though, mixing in the brilliant story, great script, and this cast of voices dramatically increases the enjoyment of this game. Graphically, and given this game only came out 4 years ago and it was created for the current generation of machines, there's very little to tell it apart from, say, LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. If I'm honest, yes, there might be a couple of subtle texture differences, but it's barely noticeable, to be honest. Looking back at LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, it's a wonderfully enjoyable experience. I still hold up that LEGO Batman 2 is the best LEGO Batman game, but if you take this as a separate entity in its own right, then it's an amazing LEGO Justice League game. I don't actually understand why they didn't just brand it as such in the first place. I mean, Batman is hardly the focus of the game for the large majority of the story anyway. With so many beautifully varied environments to explore, different worlds to play in, and every character ability you can think of, LEGO Batman 3 certainly gives DC fans the LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 experience. Crossover, anyone? Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about this game. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, 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 I do highly recommend playing this game if you've never played it before, especially if you're a Batman fan. Though if you're a Batman fan and you haven't played this, why? Seriously, Batman fans, if you haven't played this, you need to go and play this ASAP. It's a brilliant Batman game. Well, it's a brilliant DC game anyway. DLC as well, well worth a look. If you can get it cheap enough, get the season pass, because there are some awesome DLC levels of this game. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. Thank you so very much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really do. If you do have any feedback, please leave comments below that are positive or negative. Anything that's constructive, I'd very much appreciate it. Please do subscribe. Please do visit us on Instagram. Please do go to lifeandbrick.com. I'll be back very soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.